the Pharisees are coming to Jesus and they're talking about something like, is it lawful to divorce your wife? They're asking all these questions, and so I phrased my question to God. That's kind of how my heart was, as I was asking God, for a way out of taking this time off. God, is it lawful to leave my church for 15 days? That's a long time. That sounds irresponsible to me. God, is it lawful for me to leave my job for 15 days? I mean, they're depending on me at work, and I need to be the breadwinner. I need to bring that money home. Is it lawful to leave my children for 15 days? That sounds really irresponsible. That's neglectful. What would the county think of that? I'm a foster care parent. And God's just answering me back and forth. He says, well, why are you leaving for 15 days? I go, well, you see, it's that woman you gave me. We got this Genesis dialogue going in. And now all of a sudden, she wants to waste my hard-earned money so she can go to Hawaii. And God's just, he's very patient. Well, how about we ask her the reason she wants to go and not just rely on your logic? I gave her to you so that she could help you. Well, all right, God, but I think that'll be just a waste of time. I'm pretty sure after 4 years of marriage, I know her intentions by now. Well, how about you just do what I say? After all, you did come to me for advice. And so I go, I'm just talking to my wife, just really investigating, seeing what are her real intentions here. And so 5 minutes later, we would say, Dan comes back to God and says, God, you're not going to believe this. I was wrong. My wife wants to go on this cruise so that we can spend time together with you. She's been looking for the cheapest cruise time. She even wants to use her own babysitting money to pay for the whole thing. She wants to get away to celebrate our anniversary and return to our first love. And a lot of that just kind of broke because you just realized where your heart was at and how wrong you were. So this is just my heart to God in those moments when I see my wife just being so genuine with me. I'm just thinking, I feel like a fool, God. I worry instead of pray. Worry about all those things. I'm stubborn instead of humble. I have my own thoughts about things, how things are supposed to work. God, I need more discernment. Will you help me? God is just saying back to me, of course I can help you. Her name is Sarissa. When you don't come to me for help, I send her to you. You see, that's how this is supposed to work. I call it marriage. Wow, God, marriage is cool. But wait, what about my church, work, and kids? How will all that work out? Well, you should just ask and see if anyone will help. You could even ask your wife if she has any ideas. She might have been thinking about that. So a few days later, go by, talking with her and talking with other people from our church, and I come back to God and go, hey, God, guess what? Everything got worked out so that we can go on the cruise. Wow, I'm so surprised. Well, I'm going to go now. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my time while I'm away. Man, 15 days is a long time. Hey, would you like to come and help me plan? Sure, I'm pretty good at making plans. Shucks, thanks, God. So the plan, after I realized, okay, this is going to happen, there's nothing wrong with this. It's been filtered, and there's good intentions here. I go, well, if there's good intentions, let's plan for these 15 days to be very intentional then. First and foremost, I want to use this time to grow and bond with God. Just in a specific way, there's maybe things I can do while I'm away from work that I can't do. Second, I want to grow and bond with my wife. This was her idea after all. And third of all, I want to grow and bond with others. We're going to be on a cruise ship with 2,000 to 3,000 people, and I'm sure there's some people who don't know Christ there. So that was really heavy on my heart. So this gentleman right here, he's a waiter at one of the restaurants on the ship. His name is Pablo. And so when we went there for dinner, he came up to us after we had got done praying. And he he was asking questions. He wanted to know, like, oh, you guys Christian? And he just was very intrigued. Just, the simple act of just praying together. He was wondering these things and asking, like, I'm Catholic, but my brothers and sisters, they've converted to Christianity, and I'm getting really close. I've been going to the informal Bible studies and on this cruise ship, and it's just really neat. He's like sharing his convictions of what he's learning and growing in about personal relationship with Christ, and so we're getting to one of the things from this was I was realizing, even something as simple as just praying. We're not even praying for God to put Pablo in our path. We're just praying for our meal, and God just brings it. It's amazing. Just a simple interaction like that. You're not even thinking about the people around you, and you just start conversations. And then one of the ports in Honolulu. This was on a Sunday. We went to Kauai Ha'o Church. It's known as a historical church. And we were just looking for different things that make Honolulu unique. So this was one of the churches they pointed out, like in the brochure, like this is it's been here for a long time. So we just decided to check it out. And they got church on the cruise ship, but why not just experience church in Honolulu? That's kind of what we were trying to achieve anyways, being on the going away, experiencing new things. So we show up to this church, and we find out it's a Church of Christ. And so what you have in here is Church of Christ meets Southern Baptist. And I don't really know much about other churches. I know like Calvary and nearby churches, but I'm finding out through all these ports that Church of Christ is pretty big in Hawaii. And so we sit down in the front row. That's how my dad raised me, pretty much. And we meet the pastor comes up to us, Amen. But he's like dressed, in a robe, very traditional looking, and he just starts talking to us. But he seems very confused because we were telling him that we're Baptist, we're just here on vacation. And he's asking like, why are you here though? Don't you know this is a liberal church? Like, we're here for church. We're here to just see what's going on. Doesn't the cruise ship hold services? They hold services, right? Yeah, but it's a Catholic priest, so we just thought we'd find a church nearby here and just see what it's like. And he goes, he's pretty much saying like, our church is very different than yours. But we're kind of feeling like Caden here, like a little uncomfortable. Like, is he going to kick us out? Like, he's and I also was like, I had kind of researched a little bit online, and I seen they had like purpose-driven life material. They do Rick Warren stuff, and so I'm like, well, you guys do purpose-driven life, don't you? And he's like, oh yeah, we love that stuff. We've done like 3 cycles of it. We're like, well, he's kind of like one of our guys, Southern Baptist, like big pastor. So we kind of just thought, that we could go to your church and it wouldn't really be an issue here. But we're just going to this church at Southern Baptist, and so after he talked to us, he just goes, well, welcome, he's really happy still, and he's still nice to us. So we're sitting down in the front row, and I'm just noting things. Okay, then what is so different about this church? What's the differences? And I'm really trying to find them, but they're singing hymns. We sing hymns. Okay, the hymns have talk about the Trinity. Oh, we believe in the Trinity. Okay, this is so far doctrinal. And they had a choir. We have a choir. They have the same kind of special with the 90s rock ballad and stuff. And they have offering. We have offering. And it's the same Bible. Okay, it's NIV. Wow, yeah. We got a gospel message. They had a missionary there from Hong Kong, and he's sharing from Revelation. And he's not speaking about any other Jesus. He's like really convicting everyone just like our pastor does. I'm like, okay, what's the differences here? Well, they sing the 3rd verse. That's the difference? Like, okay, that's the people that sing the 3rd verse. Like, it's this Church of Christ. They're special. They're kind of like historical Hawaii church. So they have a special where they're doing Hawaiian kind of choreography, but they're also doing sign language, which I was telling Alicia about. They had like 12 people doing sign language to this special, and they're barefoot. I'm like, okay, well that's a big difference, because we kind of had a problem with that here. And you know what, like, they talk about like being a liberal church, and from my understanding, I thought that's supposed to be very freeing or something, but they don't even have a guitar. They don't got drums. It's like, we got like a rock worship band. So if there's any differences, it's that, but like our worship is not, I was just comparing these things, and I'm going, well, it's really hard to see just from coming to the surface itself, understanding what's really different about this church. But at the start, when the pastor was talking to us, after he opened up to us, and we talked a bit, he was sharing with us that their church is having a church meeting that week and the following week, just like our church does. But they were discussing changing the bylaws. And so what's going on right now, what you can pray for Pastor Kurt Kakuna about, is that they're deciding whether they're going to start marrying same-sex couples. Because, like I said, their church is very historical and it's very pretty. So it's kind of like the scenic church in Honolulu. So they have a lot of people pushing to, for them to just go with the flow of culture right now. So that's one big difference I was noticing. But I didn't notice any difference in how this pastor thought. I think it's just like our pastor, that, this is not something that we need to just fold into, that he's very fundamental in his thinking of, I can't keep preaching and leading this church if that's going to be our new bylaws, because I don't condone that kind of stuff. And so if you could pray for him, that's what he's going through with his church right now. So back to the ship, one thing we would do every morning, we got to do a lot of things that we don't normally do at home, have breakfast together. That sounds kind of silly, but it's just true with work and kids and stuff. We have to work really hard to go to bed at a certain time, and some people do it, we just can't get to it for some reason. But with this time that was one thing we really got to spend time doing, breakfast bonding. And the whole time people are, they're walking by you and they're serving you every day. And so one thing that we did get to do is I got to wash my wife in the Word. We go through Proverbs every day. And it was very interesting for me because a new thing that I got to experience was really reading the Word out. Even Proverbs, I'm reading like a New King James Version. So they have words like abomination and sinful acts and stuff. And so it feels kind of weird reading that in public. You're like, this is righteous words, and this is all about wisdom, but are people gonna think of me like I'm a mean person, or what are people thinking of me while I'm reading this? Like, I feel like I have to read quietly. But over time, like, I'm just getting more comfortable even in that experience, going like, well, if they can glean some wisdom from this. If they have a problem, they can come and talk to me, and we can, sort these things out. Like, it's a perfect opportunity. But that was one thing I really got to enjoy. Thank you, church. You gave me these special moments with my wife where we got to go over the Word in the morning. We don't get to do that a lot. And one other thing was the rest and worship that we got to experience. We would take naps in the middle of the day, and it was very funny because I remember the last time I went on our honeymoon, I was very there was an itinerary, and I'm kind of like that, check the box and plan things like, okay, let's experience every little entertainment feature on this cruise, and let's not waste any time. And so, but we get into the first day, and after breakfast, Source is like, well, let's just take a nap. Like, well, no, let's not take a nap. We've been sleeping all night. We just got breakfast. It's time to go do. She's like, no, it's good. Let's take a nap. This is something I don't get to do much. Well, what are you talking about? We can always take a nap in the middle of the day. We can't always do these things. She's like, no, we can't always take a nap in the middle of the day. She's like, I usually have kids around me and stuff. I usually never take a nap in the middle of the day. So I'm realizing, oh, she's right. This is very rare. Okay, let's take a nap. Let's experience this. So I was just laughing over the thought of, yeah, I guess I'm wrong. She's right. Yeah, you can't always take a nap. Oh, and the worship aspect of it. So she came with strong intentions too. She came to bring her guitar, and she wanted to hopefully be inspired to write some worship songs, which you'll hear later tonight. And that was something I got to really be in awe of God showing me, like, you know, one way you can serve your wife is really encourage her in the things that she's passionate about. I got to just see how she's writing her songs, and just be like, you know, if there's anything I can encourage my wife in, this is the thing to do. Like, she's writing things that are from the Word of God. Like, sometimes, like, it's hard to, like, you just wonder, like, you'll always wonder maybe what your wife's doing while you're working. Like, is she wasting her time while I'm working? Or you go like, you know, I hope she's taking her time seriously. And so I'm just getting to see, like, this is where her heart is. Like, this is what she really, like, on her time off, this is what she really wants to do. She wants to make songs that glorify God. And so I'm realizing, oh, this is something I need to get behind. And I need to just really encourage her. And so I was helping her with some of the lyrics, and so we got to kind of go back and forth on that, and that was a time of bonding. And yes, I still have my job, so I decided to bring my sweatshirt to take in, you know, unusual backgrounds that we don't usually have here in California. And that was one amazing factor. You know, you're talking to the porters who are moving the luggage for you, and you're talking to, you know, we're on the Princess Cruise, so usually their audience is like 50 years old and up. And so we're young pups on that ship, and people are just wondering, like, wow, how did you get on this ship? A 15-day cruise? Like, they would probably just never imagine themselves at our age going on something like that. They're really bewildered, like, how are you doing this? And we go, well, you know, I just have an awesome boss, you know. He told me I could just, he'd fill in for me, but, you know, I could work some extra hours to fill in for my time while I'm gone, and yeah, he'd make it work out. So that's how it's working. I don't know how else to explain it. And so that's one thing I really, you know, this is a moment where I'm caught up going, I wonder what everyone else is doing back home. I'm so thankful that I have an awesome boss. I hope they're not mad at me. I hope everyone's safe.
Just one.
And we also, you know, a boat moves a lot, you know, when they're not going through the water. But we had an opportunity to train. We had opportunities, you know, there's some very unhealthy foods you can eat there, but we eat apples too. So don't worry, we're trying to make good decisions. And one thing, you know, when I was talking about, my wife wanted us to just return to just the first love that we had for each other and for God. Like, this is something I found in her. Like, you know, when the kids are gone, and this is like date night kind of stuff, there's, when the walls are all down and you just don't really have anything else to do, you get to experience different, like, just silly moments together. And I got to see, like, you know, it seems like it's only been 4 years. That doesn't seem like a lot to some people. But I just have these little moments where I get to see my weirdo, as I call her. She just, you know, the little weirdo in her comes out, and this mysterious woman I get to see that, you know, she's not busy with chores or kids or something. This is the woman that I married, and so I'm just so glad and thankful that you guys give me an opportunity to just have these alone moments, even silly things like this.
What is she holding?
She is holding that. I don't know. It's something. I think it falls from a tree. So I think it's like a coconut thing. We call that one
Like
Pastor Lee too. It's Wilson.
It's Wilson.
And we had a whole joke too. When we went to Squaw Valley one time, she had picked up a walking stick and she named it Sammy. So we found another walking stick there too in Hawaii. So yeah, maybe we'll make this like a new thing. We'll have, you know, all the walking sticks from every area, and we'll call it Sammy and his relatives. So yeah, that's us. We're weird. And this is my last slide. So what your pastor was even talking about today, he heard these wise words from a woman when he's just struggling about, am I supposed to be, you know, here? Just, God, do you want me to move me? I'm thankful for my church because I came back from that experiencing, from that whole experience, understanding like, this is my church, this is my local church. we can go away for some time. The only reason why I have that kind of freedom is because of my local church. If I really want to stay here, I want to bloom where I'm planted. So thank you guys once again, because one thing I'm realizing is, the church is what helps keep our marriages strong too. Because I have families who are looking out for me, taking over spots in church while I'm gone, taking over Team Kid events, and people watching my children, which is kind of important, right? So I just wanted to say thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.